Hi everyone, welcome to A Ram's Life. I'm Grace, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about 10 things to help survive your first year of college. Even though it feels like forever ago because I am a fourth year in college now, I'm about to graduate in the spring, which is just crazy to think about. There are a lot of things that I remember about my first year of college that I wish I knew. So without further ado, let's get into it. So these aren't in any particular order, but the first thing I thought of was that if you don't know how to do your laundry going into college, learn before you get here. A lot of colleges require you to live on campus your first year, and so if you're living in the dorms, there should be a laundry room somewhere. And luckily, I did know how to do my own laundry, but there were a couple girls on my floor who just, for the life of them, couldn't do it. And it was a little bit embarrassing for them. So make sure you know how to do your laundry so that can be one less thing to stress about when you get to college. Number 2, I know this sounds like self-explanatory, you hear it enough, but I cannot stress how important it is to go to class. Especially now in this post-COVID era, a lot of professors are struggling to get their students to come in because they're so used to working remotely. I personally loved remote classes because I loved being able to go to class while I was in bed. But because professors know that a lot of students are struggling with that, a lot of times they'll just give you free participation points if you're there. So I have a couple classes where I just have to answer a couple questions to show that I was in the class, and those are just free participation points. And it may seem small, but if you skip classes and you get zeros on those participation grades, it can actually drop your grade quite a bit. Obviously, it's important to go so you know the material and you can do well on tests and stuff, but remember that professors are trying all different kinds of ways to get students to go to class. So I know how hard it can be to get out of bed and go to class, but make sure you get those free participation points because especially if it's a tough class, those points are really going to help. Number 3, use Rate My Professor. I cannot stress this enough. Before you schedule your classes, make sure you look up the professors that you would be taking those classes with to make sure that they're going to be a good fit for you. Because these reviews are actually really helpful because students can be like, oh, this class was super lecture heavy and I don't learn well that way. And if that's you as well, you can find another professor that more fits your learning style, if that makes sense. So that's a really big one. Make sure you have a good professor going into your class. Number 4, another big one, do not buy your textbooks before you get to the class. I have not bought a textbook since my second year of college because these textbooks are all over the internet. Specifically, and I'll put the link right here, the one that I use to find all of my textbooks online for free. Obviously, there are going to be some textbooks that you absolutely have to buy, but like I said, since my second year of college, I have been finding textbooks online. And realistically speaking, as a college student, you're spending lots and lots of money on tuition, on food, so you might as well try to save yourself a couple $100 by looking to see if you can find your textbook online first. Number 5, college is not high school. And I know obviously college is not high school, but do not raise your hand to go to the bathroom. That is very embarrassing. Don't do that because you have a lot more freedom in college, and that includes you can just get up in the middle of a lecture and leave if you want to. You don't have to ask permission. You don't need a pass or whatever. You could I wouldn't recommend doing that, but college is all about you choosing your education and choosing where you want to be and the effort that you put into your education. So don't raise your hand to leave. Don't raise your hand to go to the bathroom. Just leave and save yourself a little bit of embarrassment there. Number 6, I remember being so stressed about my social situation in college. I'm from Virginia. I came to Colorado State knowing absolutely no one. And that was scary because I've had the same friends at home since elementary school. And it was much easier to make friends in elementary school because I would just go up to people and say, do you want to be my friend? And they would say yes. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it's sort of similar in college, but especially first years, if you're in a level 100 class, it's going to be full of first years who are just as equally as nervous as you are to make friends. And I know it can be exhausting. I remember after the first couple of days of my first year of college, I got back to my dorm and I was just exhausted from talking to people, but it really is much more simple than you might think it is. When you sit down in class, just turn to the person next to you and introduce yourself. Because like I said, they're probably in the exact same boat And even if you sit in a different seat every class, just do the same thing. Introduce yourself, maybe make some small talk, you never know. But I promise that it's much easier to make friends than a lot of people think. Just remember that pretty much everyone is in the same boat as you. Number 7, on that note, your friends will change, especially your first year of college. I remember I bounced from like friend group to friend group to friend group. So my advice would be to not get like super overly attached to the people that you meet on day one, because you might end up just growing apart. They make other friends, you make other friends. I think later in the year is when you'll make those solid friend groups, but in the beginning, don't like put all of your energy into like one person, because honestly, you might never see them again. And so don't be so hard on yourself. Introduce yourself to people. You'll find your group eventually. Number 8, most first years, again, at least at CSU, have a meal plan. Oh my gosh, it's been so long. But I think you get a certain amount of swipes every day. They get you in for like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then you can also use your swipes at like a little convenience store to get like snacks and stuff. Use those. In my first year of college, I was so excited about all of the freedom that I was getting that I was door dashing Chipotle like at least 2 or 3 times a week. And then I got surprised when I didn't have money left. Take advantage of that meal plan. Don't order DoorDash all the time. Don't go out to dinner all the time. I know you'll want to because it's exciting, but take advantage of that meal plan that you already have and save the DoorDash and restaurants and stuff for more special occasions. Number 9, and this is a big one because like I said before, I'm from Virginia and I came to school in Colorado knowing absolutely no one. And if you want to see more of that experience, just scroll down on this account. It's so crazy to believe that I've been here for 4 years now, but I documented pretty much all of my first year of college on this channel, so feel free to go watch those videos. But I remember being so homesick, and so I just missed my friends and family so much. And especially those first couple weeks, I just wanted to go home. Like, college at times felt really scary and nerve-wracking, and I'm not gonna lie, it will be a little bit, you know? I'm not gonna sit here and say that your first year of college is gonna be great and perfect. It's new and it will be a little bit scary, but now that I'm in my 4th year of college, I can truly say that these have been I've had some of my best moments of my entire life in college. It's worth it. It's worth sticking it out. So my advice particularly would be, I know it's going to be hard the first couple of weeks, but try not to go home unless you absolutely have to. I know it's hard, and I think realistically, I think the only thing that kept me from going home was because plane tickets are $500. But try to stick it out as long as you can. Of course, it doesn't hurt to go home and see your family if you can, but try to get used to this new stage of your life. It's gonna be scary in the beginning, but I can without a doubt say that it's been worth it. And lastly, don't get the tattoo. My freshman year, I was so convinced that I wanted like a lip tattoo, or I wanted like a neck tattoo or something just like wildly crazy, because I was like, this is so much freedom, I can do whatever I want. And looking back, I'm so thankful that I never scheduled that tattoo appointment. With all of this freedom, you're probably gonna feel a little bit impulsive, because I did too. Obviously, you can do whatever you want with your body, but I urge you to think about yourself in the future and whether or not you're going to regret getting that tattoo or that impulsive decision. I'm not anti-tattoo at all. I really want to get tattoos someday, but tattooing Go Rams like on my lip right here, no. I'm so glad that I didn't do that. Don't be impulsive, or try not to be impulsive. Alright, that is about all I have for you all today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, feel free to give it a like and subscribe to A Ram's Life if you haven't already. Down in the description box below, you're going to see a link to my last video, as well as more information about CSU in general. Alright, thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.